Hey guys, so I just wanted to come on here and give you guys an update on the young lady down in Brooklyn who took the lives of her three children. Well, the update is in this video, you're going to hear that this woman made. Welcome to Religion Week TV, where my spiritual ears stay. Shalom and welcome to my channel. If you're new here, it's a safe place to be loved and judged, hated and tolerated, accepted and rejected, taught and fought, all in the name of the Most High God Yahweh, in the name that's above every other name, Yeshua the Christ. Become a part of the kingdom of heaven via ReligionWinked TV by subscribing and hitting the bell icon so that you know when I go live, upload, and or premiere my next video. And if you are a returning supporter, then you already know how we get down over here, right? We're sipping all the tea with no shade, talking everything up to Yahweh. Why? Who the heck else should you be talking to in these last days besides God, Holy Spirit, the Messiah, and me? And with that being said, shalom everybody. I hope you enjoyed this video. Be charged today with homicide, and that the coroner, the medical examiner, did determine this tragic act, careless, senseless act, demonic act as a homicide. Also, we're going to find out that she had an ex-husband, Mr. Merdy, Derek Merdy, I do believe his name is. Her name is Erin Merdy. She's 33 years old. And the deaths of three children on Coney Island ruled homicide by drowning, okay? So, this article is coming in by Chelsea Rose Marquez and Andy Newman, September 13th, 2022, out of the New York Times, okay? The deaths of three children who were discovered unconscious along the Brooklyn shoreline this week have been ruled homicides. The medical examiner's office in New York City said on Tuesday. All three died from drowning. And as we said yesterday in that video, prior to this one, mom was in the water allegedly and put them each under. I don't know if she held them all under at one time, but they all went under and then were laid on the shore of the Coney Island beach. So Julie Bolser, a spokeswoman for the Office of the Chief Medical Examiner, says that it was homicide by drowning. They were identified by the police and family members as Zachary Merdy, 7, Liliana Merdy, 4, and Oliver Bonarev, 3 months old. Their mothers, let me just stop here. So we know the father's last name is Merdy, but this last 3-month-old has a different name. Could it be the fathers of the other two? Possibly. Yesterday we read that he was the father of one of the children, so I'm not sure how their relationship was at the time of this happening, but I don't believe that they were together because it refers to him as ex-husband. So the mother was located by New York City Police Department officers early Monday without her children, barefoot and soaking wet, according to Kenneth Corey, the chief of department. He said at a news conference Monday morning that she was by herself. The children couldn't be found. She was soaking wet. In that video yesterday, I told you that they found the shoe, but it didn't say if it was the mother's, and I'm assuming it was because she was the one barefoot. Maybe she lost her shoes in the midst of it all. But Chief Corey said the mother was being questioned but was not in custody at that particular time. And when I got up this morning, the update is there is charges that may be filed as soon as today on the mother. A police department spokesman said on Tuesday evening that they have not arrested or charged anyone in the case and that the matter was still under investigation. Well, we know those children did not get there by themselves, okay? And this is what I don't like about police departments. They waste too much time taking care of the crime that they, are presented with. I mean, it doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure out what happened to these three children. And in that report yesterday, mom wasn't really cooperating. She hadn't said anything at that point in time. So maybe she's talking more today. In New York City, the annual number of homicides against children under age 10 that are classified as domestic in recent years has typically been about a dozen, according to police statistics. And I'm going to link this article below, all right? Killings of multiple children are exceedingly rare, though last year a woman in Queens was charged with murdering her infant twins. And in that video yesterday, I showed you there was a guy in Chicago out of the Chicago Sun-Times. He had took his three children to the river as well. The children's mother, Erin Merdy, 30, was identified on Monday by Derek Merdy, who is Zachary's father and Miss Merdy's ex-husband. So we have one father in the picture, but as far as the other two children, I haven't heard anything about them stepping up to the plate yet. Police officers answered a call just before 2 a.m. It was actually 1:40 a.m. on Monday, urging them to check on Miss Merdy. This was due to a relative having some conversation or some kind of concern that the mom was going to do something to the children. A relative believed that her children were in danger, authorities said. And again, based on conversation, behavior, Miss Jackie Scott, Miss Merdy's mother, said in the article yesterday that she basically called. The woman said she was doing laundry. The children, she wanted to talk to them, didn't get to talk to them, called 2 more times, and then all communications was ceased from then. So there were some red flags here, right? The problem is, I don't think we address them as soon as we identify them soon enough. They received another 911 call before they found Miss Merdy about 4:30 a.m. with relatives, but without her children. So the relatives made her to her, but before the children, after the children lost their lives. They didn't make it in time. They met up with the woman on the boardwalk in Brighton Beach, Chief Corey said. Another hour passed before police officers discovered Zachary, Liliana, and Oliver unconscious 2 miles away on the shoreline at West 35th Street in Coney Island. And I said, thank God yesterday in that video that they found them all three together, because generally it's not thank God that you find 3 dead children. But generally when 2 or 3 go in the river together, for whatever reasons, they get scattered and some end up here, some end up there. For them 3 children to be on the shoreline 2 miles away from their mother, to me, allegedly, she did what she did, placed them on the shoreline, so I guess the bodies can be found and not in the river as their final resting place. I don't know how people think. I've never done this before. But for her to be 2 miles away, she didn't want to be there to witness or, to see the devastation of what she did. Wow. So the children were taken to Coney Island Hospital, and that's where they were pronounced dead, okay? It was unclear on Tuesday whether Miss Merdy had a lawyer, and efforts to reach her family were unsuccessful. And I can imagine at this point in time, it is humiliating and shameful. It's hurtful. It is, it's hard to deal with that one of your family members were so under pressure that they would take the lives of their children. That's unbearable for anybody to have to deal with. And I personally wouldn't wish it on anyone. So they couldn't reach the family. Miss Murdy's mother did not respond to multiple attempts to reach her at her home in Brooklyn. And see, this is where it gets a little, we come out and say we care for our loved ones, we this, that, and the third. Mom said on Sunday she tried to reach out, but now on Tuesday, nobody can reach her. So, you never know what side to believe was true. All we know is that there's three dead children. We don't know how far the family went to get this woman help, even with maybe helping pay some of the bills, helping babysit, get the kids for an afternoon so you can have a little me time to regroup and get things in order. I don't know how much of that was available or how many resources or how much help she had in her community, but I think that's why a lot of us get to that breaking point. Hopefully, not to take the lives of your children or anybody else's life for that matter, but when the pressures come and you no longer could stand and do all you can to stand without being, vindictive or hateful or violent or a murderer, you know, reach out and ask for help. So, Miss Murdy had both legal and financial troubles before the deaths of her children. Still no excuse, y'all. There's help out there. And sometimes people don't know how to ask for help. So if you do, don't be shameful and prideful. You got to refer somebody to places where normally black people think it's a stigma or a taboo to go get food stamps or to go get help or to be on Section 8 or to even talk to somebody at Apti Health or Better Health or get you some local counseling. I suggest pray to God. God says, cast all your cares, worries, anxiety on Him. If you truly believe, He will settle you, establish you, strengthen you, and make you perfect in such a way that you wouldn't desire to do the thing that Miss Murdy has done to her children or anything else ungodly for that matter, for the most part. So it says here, according to court documents filed in civil court, she was also facing more than 5,300 in back rent last year and faced possible eviction. There's that ERAP, eviction something something AP assistance program, eviction assistance something. There's government assisted programs in my area. There's United Tenants, there's DSS, there's some local churches give assistance, not all like it should, right, but some do. But there's help out here. There's no excuse. And if you find yourself getting behind or getting in a situation where you feel it caving in and the world is crumbling around you, by all means, don't take it out on your children. Reach out to the fathers, the grandmothers, or I wouldn't suggest anybody reaching out to CPS or the system because your children become trafficked and lost within families. We gotta do better, and one way we can do better is women. You don't gotta have all these children, and if you have them prior to, God says replenish, be fruitful, and multiply. Yes, if you're gonna have the children, then take care of the children because God gave you them to be a steward over. But if you know your life ain't set up like that, you know you're not built for it like that, then don't bring them into this world if you're going to end up taking them out like this. I mean, do us all a favor. You know what I'm saying? Yes, we're supposed to be fruitful, replenish, and multiply. But that doesn't mean you bring them into the world. I brought them in and I'm going to take them out. That's not how it was set up to go, okay? So, in an interview on Monday, Miss Merdy said she had moved multiple times and had stayed in shelters with Zachary. Miss Merdy said she fought for years to get custody of Mr. Merdy. Excuse me, said Miss Merdy had moved multiple times and stayed in shelters with Zachary. Mr. Merdy said he fought for years to get custody of his son and had repeatedly called authorities about concerns over Zachary's welfare. Not the other two children, but only of his son. And sometimes when you're in a relationship with people, they expect you to take care of everybody that's there. no matter if the children's are there or not. And then you have some parents like Mr. Merdy who would basically just focus on his own kid and not those of another man. So I always tell people you have choices about who you lay down and have children with and who you want in your life to be a soul partner or a life partner or whatever. Some people are just meant there for a season. You get your kid and go, I'm not saying it like that, but everything ain't the way the traditional church and society tells you it is. You gotta be married, you gotta have kids at a certain age. That's between you and God. But if God bless you with children, do your best. Do your best to raise them in the admonition of the Lord. They may grow and depart from it, but at some point in time, they're going to come back to their senses in the Spirit of God and live life more abundantly. Eventually, some people don't know how once they get broken and life's troubles come and things start to overbear them and overtake them. They just give up on life and they feel like if their life is given up on, take those around me. If I'm hurting, let me hurt other people around me. And at the end of the day, this woman is hurting the most because she has to live with it all. She has to bear the fruits of everything she sowed. So, and I'm telling you, she really loved her kids, man. She wouldn't have did what she did, but not having them, once she come out of whatever demonic possession she was under to do it, she's gonna realize, man, quote, I love him enough. Well, actually, earlier this year, Miss Merdy agreed that Zachary should live with his father, according to a text exchange shared by Mr. Merdy, but it doesn't seem like that happened. And sometimes, fathers, you need to step up when you see mothers out here struggling, like this man tried to do, right? So, quote, I love him enough to let him stay with you or your mom because I want the best for him, Miss Merdy wrote. I want him to excel. So it seems like she was reaching out, but saying it and not doing it is two different things. And the longer you say it and ponder on it and don't do it, things like this can happen. So act accordingly, you all. On Tuesday, Marissa Kaufman, a spokeswoman for the city's Administration of Children's Services, said the agency had begun an investigation after the children were found. Why not before? Because the investigation is still ongoing, the agency would not comment on whether there had been abuse or neglect allegations involving the family. And you know what? Spirit says it probably was. And again, these agencies that they have for your children don't always have the best heart or interest of your children. A lot of times they know things like this is going on and they don't do nothing about it. Like I said, I'd rather see your children with you, but if they can't be with you, these other places aren't the best places for your children. But if they have to end up there, these places have the calls, have the school reports, see the red flags, know things may be going on in the house, and then want to do an active investigation after the children are dead. Don't want to come out and say if there was any reports of abuse or neglect or school attendance or whatever, missing school or what, So I do believe that is the end of it, guys. Let me know what you think about this whole entire situation. Let me know if you appreciate this update. If you do, and content like this, please subscribe to my channel. Remember, we do all things here, God, and this is clearly ungodly, demonic, something missing, something broken. Y'all sound off down in the comments down below. Let me know what you think about it. And Wing TV, where my spiritual ears stay. Of heaven via ReligionWinked TV by subscribing and hitting the bell icon so that you know when I go live, upload, and or premiere my next video. And again, the deaths of 3 children found on Coney Island are ruled a homicide, and police officials who had questioned their mother said no one had been charged in the deaths Tuesday, but there are implications that she may be charged as soon as today. All right. So shalom, everybody. God bless you. Keep his children safe. May God bless you and keep you, make his face to shine upon you, be gracious unto you, and let his peace, shalom, be in you, on you, and all around you, y'all. And we in some very trying times right now, and the best thing you can do is live the best life you can, so that people will see it, want it, and imitate it. You know what I'm saying? That's the
This
only way.
investigation, they are disturbing. Police just addressed the media a few minutes ago, and we're learning more details behind what happened in the early hours this morning, around 1:40 this morning. But it didn't just happen where we are right here at the end of Coney Island. It also took place in Brighton Beach, about 2 miles away, where both the mother and the children were found separate, away from each other. Now, police say officers first responded to an apartment on Neptune Avenue just before 2 this morning after a concerned family member called 911. While responding, officers came across a man who identified himself as the dad to one of the children. He told police he believed the woman and children were on the boardwalk. Officers began an extensive 90-minute search by canvassing the boardwalk, streets, apartment. Officers found the 30-year-old woman on 6th Street in Brighton Beach. Then around 4:40 in the morning, police found the three children, a 7-year-old boy, a 4-year-old girl, and a 3.5-month-old baby boy, unresponsive, at the shore's edge on 35th Street and Coney Island. They were rushed to Coney Island Hospital. All three were pronounced dead. Police say there's no prior indication of neglect to the children, and police are now trying to question the mother, who's being held at the 60th precinct, but she hasn't been speaking to officers.
So the mother was soaking wet. Whether she had been out in the rain or whether she had been in the water, again, is all speculative at this point. She was wet, she was barefoot, and she was not communicative to the officers.
So it's still pretty quiet right now here in Coney Island. There is some crime tape still up at this part of the investigation, but we know further down at Brighton Beach, that scene has been cleared. Again, that is where the woman was found, the children found right here where we are. Coney Island police are looking for any information to help them with their investigation. They're looking to speak with witnesses if you know anything.
All right, so over on Facebook, I was able to find, just in the regular search results, Erin Merdy, and 2.5K people are talking about this. So we have Trina. Erin Merdy told families she drowned her children at Coney Island, 3-month-old, 4-year-old, 7-year-old, postpartum depression, facing eviction, battling custody, and a history of mental health problems. Murder and its victims, the children's names. I do not have pictures of all those involved at this time, and they're credited in New York Daily, ABC 7, Daily Beast. A mother is suspected of drowning her 3 children at Coney Island. Jackie McFarland, yesterday, renting over a year. Erin Merdy, 30, of Coney Island, owed more than $10,000 in back rent. We read $5,300 for her Neptune Avenue apartment where she lived with her children, and has been threatened with getting booted out since January. And then there's other articles here. Where is baby Kate? There's something going on with Catherine Shelby Elizabeth Phillips, maybe missing, or I don't know, but there's a retweet, I believe, of an earlier post. And then this one here, Sonia Rycon. The mother, now identified as 30-year-old Erin Merdy, may be charged tonight at the hospital where she is still being evaluated and treated. All right, and I do have reports that she was admitted into the psych ward as well. We must do better as a community, according to Ann Tripp. A neighborhood, a family, and friends support system, prayer partners, just encouraging one another to live better, do better, reach out for help. Don't take more than you can bear. Don't get in over your head, do a little extra if you have to. Make more sacrifices. We must offer help to those around us. We must always help the children. Coney Island mom faced eviction and financial strife before drowning of kids. death ruled homicides. All right, so we'll leave it there. I'll let you guys see a little bit more here. I will link this down below with all the other articles. And thank you so much for your time. God